My daughter said I was a burden. She poured bleach in my coffee and laughed. "I'm done with you." I spat it out and locked eyes with her. "You'll regret ever thinking I'd go down without a fight." Hours later, she heard my voice from the darkened hallway. "My name's Martha. I'm 62 years old. I live just outside Dayton, Ohio. And 2 weeks ago, my daughter tried to kill me. This is not a joke. I'm not confused. I'm not imagining things. I'm going to tell this straight, and I want you to read every word. Because this isn't about some stranger or a random break-in. It wasn't a scam call or some street robbery. This was my own daughter. Alana. She looked me in the face and called me a burden. Then she poured bleach into my coffee and told me she was done with me. She said it like I was some moldy garbage she was finally tossing out. It all started slow. That's how they get you. You don't see it right away. At first, it's just little digs. A look. A sigh. Then one day, you realize you're scared to ask for help in your own house. That house used to be mine, by the way. I signed it over to Alana 5 years ago when I was diagnosed with arthritis and couldn't keep up with repairs. Thought it'd be easier if everything was in her name. I was trying to make things simpler. I didn't know I was handing her a loaded weapon. Alana's always had a sharp mouth. Even as a kid. But after her daughter, Lily, was born, she changed. She got bitter. Short-tempered. She'd lost the father. He walked out during the pregnancy, and I stepped in to help raise the baby. I was there for every late-night feeding, every sick day, every school pickup when Alana couldn't make it. I paid for groceries when her checks bounced. I even skipped doctor appointments of my own to make sure Lily had what she needed. So when Alana started acting cold last year, I figured it was burnout. I thought if I gave her space, she'd settle down. Instead, it got worse. She'd snap if I left a dish in the sink. She'd yell if I forgot to unplug the toaster. She'd complain about the smell of my lotion, or the sound of my shoes on the floor. One day she told me, "You just take up space. That's all you do." I cried that night. In the garage, so Lily wouldn't hear. Then last week, it all came out. Ugly and fast. It was Wednesday. Same routine. Alana made herself a smoothie, rushed around like she was late, and handed me a cup of coffee. She never makes coffee for me. Ever. I looked at her, surprised. She just said, "Don't make a big deal." I took one sip and almost threw up. It tasted off. Bitter and sour and chemical. It hit the back of my throat like poison. I gagged and spat it back into the cup. "What the hell is this?" She smiled. Not a real smile. The kind where someone wants to hurt you. "You're so dramatic," she said. "It's just a little cleaner." I stared at her, not getting it. "I'm done with you," she said. Like it was nothing. "You ruin everything. My money, my time, my peace. I can't do this anymore. You tried to poison me?" My voice was shaking. She shrugged. "You act like your life's worth saving." My hands went cold. I backed away. She didn't follow. She just turned and walked out the front door. I didn't call the police. I know that sounds stupid. But in that moment, I wasn't thinking clearly. I was ashamed. Shocked. I couldn't believe my own daughter had done that. I kept replaying her words in my head, like maybe I'd misheard. But deep down, I knew. I knew she meant it. And if I didn't do something, she'd try again. So I started planning. I had no money. No car. No one I could call. Most of my friends had passed or moved away. But I had time. And I had one thing she didn't know I still had, my mind. I remembered Lily's old baby monitor. The one with video and audio. I found it in the attic. I plugged it in, set it on top of the fridge, and angled it at the kitchen counter. Then I downloaded a nanny cam app on Lily's forgotten tablet and hid that on the bookshelf. I made sure everything was recording. 2 days later, she tried again. This time it was orange juice. I watched her pour it, then slipped something from under the sink into the glass. She stirred it like she was making Kool-Aid. I dumped the juice as soon as she left and saved the footage. That night, I stayed up watching her. She had no clue. She walked around like she owned the world. She didn't notice the files disappearing from her drawer. I took her mail, her debt notices, her forged applications for government money in my name. I found a life insurance policy she'd taken out. Signed by me. I nearly fainted when I saw the amount. $100,000. She was waiting for me to die. Or worse, she was planning it. I printed every page. Highlighted everything. Put it all in a folder and hid it under the couch cushion where I sit every day. I waited for the right moment. That Monday night, I turned off all the lights in the house. I unplugged everything. I wanted it quiet. Still. I wanted her to feel something she hadn't felt in years, fear. She came home late, like usual. Tossed her keys on the counter. Flipped the switch. Nothing happened. Ugh, great, she muttered. I waited in the hallway. Then I stepped out. She jumped. Mom? Jesus. What are you doing? I stepped closer. You think I'm weak? She frowned. What? You think I'd let you get away with it? She looked confused, then annoyed. Are you seriously trying to scare me right now? I took another step. You tried to kill me. I didn't, twice. Coffee. Juice. I have the footage. The emails. The fake documents. The insurance policy. Everything. She went pale. I dropped the folder at her feet. It's all in there. And it's already been sent to the cops. And CPS. And your boss. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. I'm not afraid of you anymore, I said. She picked up the folder and flipped through the pages. Her hands were shaking. You ruined everything, she whispered. No, I said. You did that yourself. She stood there holding that folder, breathing hard like she just ran a mile. Her face twisted in this mix of shock and panic. For the first time in years, she didn't have something smart to say. No insults. No eye roll. Just silence. Good. You don't get to act shocked, I told her. You did this. She dropped the folder on the floor and pointed a shaky finger at me. You think this makes you some kind of hero? You've ruined my life. I laughed, but it came out cold. You tried to end mine. You don't get it. You're in the way. You've always been in the way. No. I've always been holding everything together while you treat me like garbage. Alana looked around, like she wanted to disappear. Her voice cracked. What about Lily? You think she'll forgive you for dragging the cops into this? I'm not the one who put her in danger, I said. You're the one who left cleaning chemicals within reach. You're the one who faked my signature and lied to the state. She grabbed her hair with both hands and screamed. You think you've won? You haven't. I'll tell them you're confused. That you're sick in the head. They'll believe me. I'm the one who works. I'm the one who pays the bills. They'll believe the video, I said. And the files. And the bank statements. You forged my name. You applied for money in my name while trying to kill me. That's not just family drama. That's prison. She stormed off into the kitchen, knocking over a chair on the way. I followed, but kept my distance. I didn't trust her. Not even a little. She yanked open drawers, then the fridge, muttering curses under her breath. Then she spun around. "You think you're so smart," she hissed. "But you forgot something. You sent all this to the cops, right?" I nodded. She smiled then. It was small, but I saw it. She had something. "Well," she said, "then I guess we better hope they don't find anything in this house that makes you look bad." "What are you talking about?" She pulled out her phone. "You really think you're clean? You don't think I've got years of voicemails and texts of you saying crazy stuff when you were off your meds? You think a judge won't believe you're unstable?" "I wasn't off my meds," I said. "You just didn't pick them up." She laughed. "Doesn't matter. It's your word against mine. And guess what? I've been documenting everything. Every time you forgot something. Every time you repeated yourself. You've been walking around this house like a confused old woman for a year now." "That's not true," I said. But even I could hear the doubt in my voice. She leaned in close. "They'll put you away. You want to play hardball? Let's go. I'll cry on the stand. I'll say I tried everything. I'll say you were abusive. I'll bring Lily in and say you scared her." I clenched my fists. "Don't you dare drag that girl into this." "Why not?" she snapped. "You already dragged me." I backed away, heart pounding. She was serious. She was going to fight dirty. I thought exposing her would be enough. I didn't think she'd try to bury me in return. But now I knew exactly what she was. A cornered animal. Dangerous. Desperate. I locked my door that night for the first time ever in my own home. The next day, a knock came around noon. I looked through the peephole. 2 officers. A woman and a man. I opened the door. "Martha," the woman asked. "We'd like to speak with you. Do you have a moment?" I nodded slowly and stepped back to let them in. Alana was already sitting in the living room, her legs crossed, looking smug. She'd called them first. "This is her," she said, pointing at me. "She's been acting really unstable lately. I'm scared for myself and my daughter. I think she might hurt someone." The woman officer turned to me. "Ma'am, do you mind if we ask you a few questions?" I sat down across from them, trying to steady my breathing. "I do mind," I said. "But go ahead." Alana watched with her arms folded, like she was waiting for a show. "You were recently accused of being poisoned?" the male officer asked. "Yes," I said. "Do you have any proof?" I turned to the bookshelf. Reached behind the row of dusty cookbooks. Pulled out the tablet. I pressed play. The officers watched in silence. The video showed Alana pouring bleach into my mug. Then it showed her stirring juice with a white bottle open next to her. Her face. Her actions. Everything. Then I handed them the folder. Everything's in there. The life insurance. The fake applications. She even forged my name. Alana jumped up. "This is fake. She made it up. She's tech savvy, she can do this stuff. She's been obsessed with ruining my life ever since I told her I can't take care of her anymore." The female officer held up a hand. "Ma'am, we'll need you to calm down." I am calm. The male officer looked at me. "Can we speak to you in private?" Alana started to argue, but they shut her down. Took me into the kitchen. I told them everything. I didn't cry. I didn't stutter. I was clear. "She's been trying to kill me," I said. "And now that I've caught her, she's trying to make me look crazy." They nodded. Took notes. Asked questions. Then told me they'd be back. They needed to verify some things. Talk to some people. But before they left, they asked me one final thing. "Is your granddaughter safe?" I felt my throat close up. I hadn't even thought about it. I don't know. That question stayed in my head long after they left. Is your granddaughter safe? I wanted to say yes. I wanted to believe it. But once the officers were gone and the silence came back into the house, I had to face the truth. I didn't know. Lily was only 9. She was smart, sweet, and always careful not to upset her mom. I had taught her how to pack her school lunch, how to read quietly when things got tense, and how to slip her headphones on when Alana started yelling. But I never taught her how to survive a mother who could kill. That night, I tried to talk to Lily. She was brushing her teeth in the bathroom, standing on the little pink stool I bought her 2 years ago. "Hey, sweetheart," I said gently. "Can we talk a second?" She glanced up at me in the mirror. "Am I in trouble?" "No, baby. Not at all." She rinsed her mouth and turned toward me. "Is mommy mad at you?" I froze. "Why do you ask?" She looked down and kicked her foot. I heard yelling. "And she cried a lot on the phone yesterday. Did she say anything to you?" Lily nodded. "She said you were sick. That you might go away." My heart felt like it was being crushed. "Do you think I'm sick?" She shrugged. "You forget stuff sometimes. But you always help me with homework. And you remember my bedtime stories. So I don't think so." I pulled her into a hug. "If anything ever feels wrong, you tell me, okay? No matter what. Even if someone tells you not to." She looked up at me with wide eyes. "Is mommy going to jail?" "I don't know, baby." But in that moment, I knew I had to protect her, no matter what it cost me. The next day, things got worse. Alana stormed into the kitchen at 7 a.m., looking wild. Hair messy, eyes bloodshot. "You called CPS, didn't you?" she yelled. I stayed calm. "They contacted me." "You had no right." I turned off the burner under the eggs. "They're doing their job. Like I did for you." "Oh, cut the long-suffering mom act. You think they'll take your side over mine? You've got nothing. I've got everything." She froze. "I kept copies," I said. "The folder you tried to shred?" I replaced it. "The emails?" I sent them to a cloud backup. "The videos?" "They're stored in 3 places now." She blinked, just once. "You've been planning this. I've been surviving this." Then she did something I didn't expect. She laughed. A dry, bitter, almost sad kind of laugh. "You want to know something, Mom? This didn't start last week. This started years ago." "What are you talking about?" She leaned against the counter. "You think you were some kind of saint? You were just as controlling as Dad. You always made me feel like a mistake. Like I couldn't do anything right." I was stunned. "That's not true. You think I wanted this life? The baby, the dead-end jobs, the guilt every time I looked at you? I lost everything. And you sat in that chair with your coffee and watched me burn." "I gave up my life to help you," I said. "I never asked you to. You didn't have to." And there it was, truth out in the open like a fresh wound. All the old bitterness, all the silent blame she'd held onto for years. It had nothing to do with coffee or bleach. This was rot that had been growing in the walls for years, and I hadn't noticed. But that still didn't excuse what she'd done. "You tried to kill me," I said, quiet now. "That's not anger. That's evil." She didn't reply. Just walked out the back door and slammed it shut. That afternoon, I got a call from the police. They were placing Lily in temporary custody with me while they investigated Alana. I should have felt relief. But what I felt was dread. Because once Alana realized what was happening, she wouldn't go quiet. And I was right. 2 nights later, around 2 a.m. I woke to the sound of glass shattering downstairs. I sat up, heart racing. I grabbed my phone. No signal. I'd forgotten to pay the bill last month. And the Wi-Fi light was blinking red. Cut off. I stepped into the hallway. "Lily?" I whispered. Her door creaked open. She peeked out, scared. "Grandma?" "Stay there. Lock the door." She nodded and closed it again. I grabbed the old bat from behind my door and crept downstairs, hands shaking. The living room window was smashed in. Glass on the floor. Wind blowing the curtain. And standing in the middle of the room, breathing heavy, was Alana. Hair soaked from rain. Eyes wild. "You took her from me," she said. "You broke into the house. She's my daughter. She was scared of you." Alana stepped forward. "Give her back or I swear I'll..." I raised the bat. "Try it." She stopped. Blinked. Then, for a second, she looked like the little girl I used to hold. The one who cried during thunderstorms. The one who needed me. But then her face hardened again. "This isn't over," she said. She turned and walked out the broken window into the dark. I stood there, bat in hand, waiting to breathe. The house felt like it was holding its breath after she left. I checked every lock, every window. I swept up the glass, one shard at a time, hands trembling. Then I sat on the floor, right in front of the broken window, and waited for the sun to rise. My legs hurt. My back throbbed. But I didn't move. Lily slept through the rest of the night. I checked on her 5 times just to be sure. That morning, I called the police again. They came out. Took pictures. Wrote another report. Promised they'd put out a restraining order. One of the officers, same woman from before, looked me in the eye and said, "We believe you now." All of it. I nodded, but I didn't feel any relief. Not yet. Because I knew Alana. And Alana wasn't done. 3 days passed. I kept Lily home from school. I didn't go out. I didn't even take out the trash. I just watched. Waited. Then the knock came. Not on the front door. On the back one, near the kitchen. I opened it. 2 men in black suits stood there. Clean cut. Official looking. "Mrs. Heron?" one asked. I nodded slowly. "We're with Adult Protective Services. We received a report that your granddaughter is living in unsafe conditions and that you may be suffering from early signs of dementia. We'll need to speak with you and the child." I froze. "You're here because of Alana, aren't you?" They didn't answer. I stepped aside, heart hammering. "Let them in." They walked through the house, looked in drawers, asked questions. I showed them the videos. The forged documents. The police reports. Everything. They said they'd review the material and make a final recommendation. I knew what that meant. They weren't here for the truth. They were here because a well-spoken adult child told them her crazy old mother was a threat. And most people believe the younger voice. So I did the one thing I had left. I called Carl. He was my late husband's cousin. We hadn't spoken in years, not since the funeral. But I knew he worked in private security and digital forensics now. I remembered him saying something at the burial that stuck with me: "If you ever need to disappear someone legally, call me." I called. He picked up on the second ring. "Martha," he said, surprised. "I need your help." Carl showed up 2 days later in an old black truck. Gray beard, long coat, and a briefcase full of wires, USB drives, and God knows what else. "Tell me everything," he said. I did. Every awful detail. Then I handed him my phone, the tablet, the insurance policy, and the contact info for the APS officers. He whistled when he saw the files. She's not just reckless. She's dirty. I need something that'll stick, I said. Something they can't spin. She's too good at spinning things. He smiled. Don't worry. I've got an idea. Carl did what I never could, he traced her emails. Found hidden bank accounts. Uncovered transactions where she funneled government aid money into prepaid debit cards under fake names. Even found a deleted video clip she'd taken on her phone, one where she literally laughed about getting rid of the old cow once the life insurance hit. He compiled everything. Made backups. Sent it to his contacts in the press, in state offices, even one at the Attorney General's office. Then, the final move. He used her own email to send a message to her work account, pretending to be one of her fake identities. He set a trap, an email chain that made it look like Alana was preparing to fake my death with help from someone inside a care facility. It took 36 hours. Then the warrants came down. They picked her up at work. In handcuffs. In front of her manager, her coworkers, and Lily's school counselor, who had been waiting for her to sign some forms. The charges? Fraud. Identity theft. Attempted murder. Child endangerment. Insurance fraud. Elder abuse. 7 charges total. When they searched her apartment, they found 2 passports. One fake, one real. She had been planning to take Lily and disappear. Probably thought she'd get the insurance money and move to Arizona, where no one knew her. She didn't even make it to her car. The trial lasted 5 months. I had to testify. So did Lily, though the judge let her do it by video so she didn't have to face her mother. Alana cried in court. Told the jury she was mentally exhausted from being the only caregiver. She blamed it on stress. On caregiver fatigue. Claimed she never meant to harm me, just scare me into moving to a facility. But the jury saw through it. The videos. The documents. The fake IDs. The forged life insurance. Carl's data trails. It was all airtight. She got 28 years. No parole for at least 19. Lily didn't say a word the day of sentencing. Just held my hand and stared ahead. When we got home that night, she sat on the floor of her room and cried. I still love her, she whispered. I sat down beside her. I know. And that's what makes you stronger than she ever was. It's been a year now. I have full custody of Lily. She's in counseling. So am I. The house is quieter, but it's safer. There are no more shattered windows. No bleach in the coffee. No dark footsteps in the hallway. Some nights I still lie awake, wondering how I didn't see it sooner. Wondering if I failed her somewhere along the line. Maybe I did. Maybe I gave too much. Maybe I let guilt shape my love. But I do know this, she thought I was weak. She thought she could take me out and get away with it. She forgot who raised her. She forgot that even a quiet, broken down old woman can fight like hell when she has something left to protect. And now? She wakes up every morning behind bars. And I wake up every morning to the sound of Lily laughing while brushing her teeth. That's justice enough for me.